So if you need an air duct cleaning, call 1-800-STEAMER today.
From ABC 7, this is Eyewitness News.
Right now at 11, an Orange County judge has been charged with the murder of his wife. The new details we're learning about that gruesome night. It's the first official negotiating session since the riders went on strike more than 100 days ago. But we begin with the heartbreaking video of Lahaina residents jumping into the ocean to save their lives. We're following all the developments out of Maui this morning. Good morning to you. This is Eyewitness News at 11 a.m. We're live on ABC 7, Hulu, and wherever you stream. I'm Philip Palmer. Giovanna is off. The death toll in Maui continues to rise. Now, at least 55 people have been killed, and officials say 1,000 others are still missing. Eyewitness News reporter Rob Hayes is live in studio covering the devastation. Rob?
Yeah, Philip, there are questions today whether or not Maui residents were warned appropriately about the fires. Hawaii emergency management records indicate no warning sirens were triggered, leaving people to run for their lives as flames ripped through parts of the island. Now, some of those panicked escapes were caught on video. That is what it looked like Tuesday night. People jumping into the water as strong winds pushed the wildfires through Lahaina. Fire-related deaths have been updated now to 55, with many people still unaccounted for. Emergency officials say as the wildfires moved toward populated areas, warnings were delivered through mobile phones, television, and radio stations, but widespread power and cell phone outages may have limited their reach. Today, massive evacuations from the island are still underway. Nearly 15,000 flew out of Maui yesterday alone. The White House saying President Biden spoke by phone with the governor of Hawaii today. Biden has previously stated that every asset the government has will be available to those impacted by the fires. Meanwhile, cadaver-sniffing dogs were flown into Maui today to help search for victims.
We will continue to see loss of life. We also have seen many hundreds of homes destroyed. And that's going to take a great deal of time to recover from.
Everything is completely wiped out. You know, that used to be the capital of Hawaii, and it was a bustling town, and some of those buildings were still there, all made out of wood, and that whole waterfront is gone.
Now, again, Hawaii emergency management officials are asking residents and visitors not to travel to Maui unless it's absolutely necessary to make sure there's space for first responders and volunteers. Philip?
Okay, Rob, thank you. And as you mentioned, travel. The airports in Hawaii still a mess because of evacuations and canceled flights. These are some pictures from Maui overnight. Yesterday, nearly 15,000 visitors left on flights departing the island. Most airlines flying there have added extra flights to take people off the island. United canceled inbound flights to Maui so planes could be used to fly people to the mainland. Several airlines, including United, Hawaiian, Alaska Air, American, and Delta, are offering travel waivers, allowing people to change plans without penalty. Stay with Eyewitness News for continuing coverage on the Hawaiian wildfires. You can also stay up to date on our ABC 7 Los Angeles app or online at abc7.com. Coming up at 11:30, we'll take you live to Maui for a first-hand look at the relief efforts that are currently underway. An Orange County Superior Court judge has officially been charged with the murder of his wife. Jeff Ferguson was arrested last week after his adult son called 911. Eyewitness News reporter Christiane Cordero is live in our newsroom with more. Christiane?
Philip, that adult son called 911 just before 8 p.m. last Thursday, and the documents just released go into pretty significant detail into what prosecutors say happened that night. Starting earlier in that evening, the son was out to dinner with his parents and saw them get into a verbal argument. The documents say the defendant was drinking heavily, made a gun gesture with his hand at dinner. That argument carried over into the home and escalated to the point where the wife, the victim, said, "Why don't you shoot me with a real, or why don't you point a real gun at me, rather?" Which he did, according to those documents. Shot and killed her, says the DA's office. 72-year-old Jeffrey Ferguson has been an Orange County Superior Judge since 2015. Before then, he was a prosecutor for more than 30 years. Anaheim police arrested him that night, August 3rd, in Anaheim Hills after the 911 call. We saw investigators taking weapons and boxes from the home. Today, we have learned that they have recovered 47 weapons, including rifles, shotguns, and handguns, plus more than 26,000 rounds of ammunition. possession, according to the Orange County DA's office. One of the concerns prosecutors have is one rifle is missing. Ferguson posted the $1 million bail 1 week ago today. He is required to stay in Southern California, has surrendered his passport and wears a GPS ankle monitor. But, you know, these details and these documents are pretty incriminating, keeping in mind that they were filed by prosecutors. But it says within minutes of the shooting, Ferguson texted his court clerk and bailiff saying, quote, "I just lost it. I just shot my wife. I won't be in tomorrow. I will be in custody. I'm so sorry." Ferguson is due back in court for his arraignment on Tuesday. We're live in the newsroom. I'm Christiane Cordero, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Okay. Christiane, thank you. Striking workers are set to resume negotiations with the studios today. It's the first negotiation session since the WGA went on strike in May. I should say striking writers, not striking workers, although they're working writers. The Writers Union says the group negotiating for the studios reached out to schedule the new meeting. In an email to its members, the WGA said it expects to get responses to its proposals. On Wednesday, the WGA marked the 100th day of its strike, matching the duration of the union's last walkout in 2007. Certainly interesting weather today. Tony Cabrera is in for Brianna. We got a lot of cloud cover today. Does that mean any rain?
Well, there was some drizzle actually this morning in some spots with those marine layer clouds really deep. And at some point, Philip, they went all the way up towards the Santa Clarita Valley. But you can see over time, those clouds are starting to dissipate and burn off and getting a lot more sunshine in many places. They're looking up towards for much of the week as we move forward here for those mountain communities and maybe some deserts. Downtown LA, 81 degrees today. All these temperatures staying below the average for the most part. That'll continue as we slowly warm up through the weekend and then lead into a warming trend. The beaches today, mid-70s, mountains, low 70s, 90 in the high desert, low desert, 102. But coming up, we'll talk about the 7-day forecast with Philip. Some changes as we get warmer, but this weekend too, looking pretty good.
Okay, we like good. Thanks, Tony. U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland has elevated the prosecutor in the Hunter Biden investigation to special counsel status. Delaware U.S. Attorney David Weiss has been handling the case, probing the financial and business dealings of President Biden's son. The case is also now expected to go to trial after court filings reveal negotiations with federal prosecutors are at an impasse. The White House is maintaining silence and not commenting on the matter. As we continue here at 11 a.m., calls of a screaming woman send police to a Hollywood mansion, the disturbing scene they found when they arrived. Plus, this young man